So I'm going live this afternoon to talk about something I've been avoiding, and I'm hearing from other people too, that many others are avoiding, um, which is conversations. Um, and so this is something that I'm learning is part of being in the messy middle of business building where we're not exactly sure what to say to people, which I think that's normal. But I bet if we just start talking to them, we're just going to naturally um, just, talk to each other. Um, so I put a little question in the chat earlier. Hi, Scott. Hi, Emma. Hi, Alice. So I'm going to try to practice what I was talking about and what I'm learning, and I'm learning from Scott Perry actually, which is about, okay, let's have conversations. So I am here today practicing what I say, and trying to be here for conversations and trying not to be too hard on myself with my messy office. Anyway, um, self-compassion, I was just reading about that. We need to be kind to ourselves. So, and maybe that's something to apply to conversations too, that they don't need to be perfect. Yes, many of us overthink them. Okay, what if I say the wrong thing? What if I don't answer right? Um, so I know I'm jumping around here, but does anyone have any questions about I posted a couple of the reply door stuck points where maybe we feel stuck with we don't have enough eyes on our stuff. Maybe it's a visibility thing. Maybe we're not clear about asking for someone to, talk with us or inviting people. Maybe we're not clear or we're not, doing follow ups, which, yes, that is something I am always struggling with, but I'm learning to do them anyway. Um, Sometimes I was saying this in an email that some of the most boring stuff in business is actually or are actually the things that will help move us forward. um so having the Excel document and keeping track of, okay, what is the conversation I'm keeping track of, and trying to remember who you're talking to so you then can follow up with them. um and let's see. So another piece is conversion. So going back to another stuck point. So the conversations happen, but no one's buying. And then the last one was capacity. So everything feels heavy, um, which I have definitely experienced that before. Um, So let's see. So Emma has a question. Thank you, Emma. So glad y'all are here. So how to start a conversation? Okay, so let me rack my brain. How to start a conversation? Well, I mean, I'm learning myself again in the messy middle. Um, so, like I posted today and two of you replied and I was like, "Whoa, people are replying." So I feel like I kind of, started a conversation. So sometimes it's, making the question simple. Maybe it involves listening to your audience too, so I keep hearing that people feel stuck with follow-up, so I tried to listen a little bit, and then that rang true with how I was feeling too, so I'm like, "Okay, well, let's have a conversation about it." Why are we feeling stuck with follow-ups? So, maybe something like that. If you know a little bit about the person, Scott has been going over, what are those called? Icebreakers. Oh my goodness. In counseling school, as many of you know, I'm a counselor who has this business coaching business I'm building. Anyway, they did not teach us about these things. They did not teach us icebreakers in counseling school. Um, so, I've had to learn these types of things through trial by fire. Um, and so figuring out what are a few icebreakers you could ask. And if you already have a relationship with the person, then just going back to what was the last thing you knew about them, just checking in. It could be a quick, like, hi, how are you? That could be an icebreaker. Um, okay, Scott has something. Let's see. I like MBS opener. What's on your mind? Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. That's very open. That could lead to, a really good conversation. And people always have choice. They don't have to answer. Um, so maybe some of it too is working on, okay, so I have my inner critic that's, always like, well, you said that wrong. So being kinder to myself, again, the self compassion that I'm just being human. I'm just asking a question. If they don't want to answer it, they don't have to. They can ignore me. Ghosting is totally cool. Um, okay, so I said I would try to talk a little bit about each of these areas. So, visibility. Um, some of that, you don't have to be everywhere. I'm mainly now on Substack. I do have a lot of little satellite social media sites I use, but they're not the main thing. Um, so that's what I do, but y'all do what works for you. So figuring out, where do you like to hang out? Where do you feel like you're good at hanging out? Some people really love Instagram. I don't get it, but they really like it and it's working for them. So keep doing that. There's nothing wrong with that. But, are you having conversations with the people on Instagram? If you're not having conversations, how can you add some sort of path to, talk with people more as opposed to just posting and posting and nothing happening? Because that's not going to move your business forward. Um, so yeah, you don't have to be everywhere, but choosing a place where you can consistently answer questions, show examples, show people how you do what you do and how you help. Um, so things like that can help stepping out of the friend zone in business. So I often talk about Jake Anderson's 4 zones of positioning. I really love his teachings with that. And many of us are often stuck in the confused zone. So people don't know what we do or how we help or why they should pay us to help. Um, there's also the guru zone where it's almost like we're too far away. We're, on the top of the mountain teaching people and we're just too distant. We may have really great ideas, but we're not very approachable. And then we can be a little too approachable in the friend zone where we're having lots of conversations, but they're not converting. So moving more into the trust zone involves, I have many blog posts and videos about this, but um, we need to show up. We need to show how we help in a way that doesn't burn us out either, because that's always another little factor. We don't want to overgive to the point we pour ourselves out. And that is something I talk a lot about too: compassion fatigue and burnout. Um, okay, so next area. Any questions so far? Any other questions? I'll keep watching the chat here. Hopefully it's working okay. The next section, and let me get a little water here. I'm getting parched. Okay, so invites. Invites can get weird when the offer is fuzzy. So, gonna call out my coach again here. So, I'm learning so much about forever offers, how to show what we do and how we do it to the best of our abilities, and sharing that with people with an idea virus, which again is Scott Perry, well, his kind of reiteration of Seth Godin stuff. And so trying to figure out what mine is and then sharing it with people, I've been working on that for a while now, and I feel like I'm building more clarity there. So what is your forever offer? How do you share what you do and how you help? It kind of goes, with the visibility piece as well. But could you boil it down into one sentence that is something that people will remember and they can share? So, something I've been kind of thinking about is crickets to clients, is kind of, the really boiled down, uh, you know, frame of my idea virus. Still thinking about that. But it needs to be something I can remember and something that I can, just express to people, and something I feel cool with being able to put on my memes and videos and that type of thing. And so far, that one's been sticking. Um, you know, I don't know. I love all these. I love little phrases and things. So, like the offer lab, like things I can remember. Like, what's that about? Well, that's about helping people with their offers and getting through the messy middle. What's the messy middle? Well, that's where we have a great idea, but we haven't brought it all the way across the barbell, meaning that it's not time tested and reliable and bringing in some income for us. Um, okay, where am I? Follow ups. Again, my big stuck point is always follow ups. Um, so many of us are worried from what I've been listening. What I'm hearing is that many of us are worried we're going to say the wrong thing. Um, and, okay, so what's the worst that could happen if you say the wrong thing? You know, people might ghost you. I guess they might say something mean, but then you don't have to listen to that. Maybe sometimes it is figuring out what is the worst thing that could happen, and this is something I'm trying to work with myself on. Like, I actually don't like doing live, so I had to say to myself, "Well, what's the worst thing that can happen, Bree?" And I guess, like, the worst thing is that I forget what I'm saying and just look at the screen. But then wouldn't I just turn the video off and just say goodbye abruptly? I mean, I can end it. So if I ever get to that point where I'm so uncomfortable, I will just end the live and I'll be like, "See y'all later." I'm only mildly uncomfortable right now. So, anyway. Um, so sometimes, yeah, looking at what is the worst thing that could happen. Okay, so the worst thing if I say the wrong thing is they don't respond, maybe they say something mean, which I think would be rare, but okay, maybe they will. But are they the right person to work with you if they're, insulting you in email or DMs? They might have just shown that they, maybe they're not, maybe you don't want to work with them. So, I was responding in the chat today, um, to Penny's question. Thank you so much, Penny, for your great questions, and Emma too. A little cheat sheet for Um, using a reflection could be okay, so you hear them or they say something, um, and you reflect back, okay, what I'm hearing is this, and then that could help clarify what you heard because then they'll probably correct you if you missed something. But if they don't correct you, you could say something like, did I get that right? Did I hear that right? um, or like a little summary question. So, is the main thing you want to work on right now blank, or is it something else? Um, so, this can help you continue listening with empathy, and it can help prevent us from going down, the trails of answers we might have. Um, and it kinda keeps us grounded to the conversation, so that's a little kind of, I don't know, little format thing. Let's see, so we got a comment from Scott. "That's what I love about going live on Substack. If I'm not happy with how it went, I just delete it. Did that just yesterday." Oh, I love that so much. I will totally be deleting, lives if I mess them up. And I did that a couple weeks ago with one that it didn't go right, or maybe I saved it but never posted it. So that's totally an option. I love that, Scott. Thank you. Let's see. So we have a few more people who've joined. So I apologize if I say anyone's names wrong. Kira and Vanessa, hello. So nice to see you. If you have any questions about maintaining conversations with your followers, um, drop them. You can also check out the chat in my Substack that has the questions. Okay. Oh, thank you, Penny. So thank you, Bree. This sharing is helpful in building confidence. Yeah. Sometimes we gotta just talk about it, you know. So as I'm doing this live now, I'm feeling a little more comfortable with the live because okay, nothing bad's happened yet. A number of weeks ago, someone showed up and was saying some kind of off the wall things. And I ended up talking to Scott about it later, and he said, trolls are going to be around. We don't have to listen to them. So, I guess that's another bad thing that could happen. You might get a troll responding in your conversations or something. So, you just do the best you can and, you know, maybe you say something, maybe you don't. Um, I don't know if I even said anything. I think I just left the conversation. Ghosting is totally okay. Okay, it is us being human. Yes. And I think actually that's one of the most important things in conversation is just being human. Um, if you're listening and you're just being there and you're grounded in the conversation, you're being yourself, then that's going to help you and the person see if you're going to work well together or not. And if it doesn't go well, then maybe it just wasn't meant to be. Um, Okay, so the next one, conversion. This is something I'm still working on. I'm in the messy middle here too. So, what I'm learning is conversion is usually a clarity and fit and next step issue, not necessarily a try harder or build more issue. The chronic overbuilder over here who has built all the funnels and built all the websites. I literally have like 5 websites. Seriously. I had several Facebook groups. Scott helped me cut some Facebook groups. I have 1 now. I had 3. Um and yes, what was I saying? Oh, yes. So what hinders us with conversion is overbuilding. Many of us overbuild. We have to have the perfect page. We have to have the perfect sequence. We have to have the perfect everything. And, you know, what do if you build it, they will not come. If you build it with them, they might. So let's stop overbuilding. Let's actually talk to people, listen to what is needed, and then we build. So like the offer lab, I'm building it with a beta group right now instead of building the whole thing and then inviting people to show up. I'm asking for feedback. One person asked for a Google type of sheet to help answer questions, so I built that. I didn't build the sheet first. I listened and then built it. I'm getting better, Scott. Oh, I see you have a statement. Let's see. A counselor I once worked with had some great advice about trolls. The best way to extinguish bad behavior is to ignore it. Oh, yeah, that's good. I think it's a similar thing with bullies, which I guess are similar to trolls. Sometimes we got to ignore it. Sometimes we have to stand up, but sometimes ignoring is totally okay. Um, let's see. So yes, conversion. What was I saying? Sorry. Rabbit trails. Let's see. A common conversion friction point, maybe the problem we solve, we're not being clear or specific enough. Maybe we're not expressing it very well. Um, oh, and Scott saying, "You're awesome and you're doing great, Bree." Oh, thank you. Well, I have a great coach. Um, okay, so the problem you solve isn't specific enough. So maybe you're not expressing that, maybe it just needs a little tiny tweaking. It doesn't need a whole page. Maybe it's just looking at the sentences, maybe asking your followers, okay, does this make sense? What do you think I'm saying when I say this? I bet you have some followers who would love to give you some feedback. Oh, my coach does sound awesome. Oh, yeah. Okay. Maybe the outcome isn't vivid enough. Maybe people don't see again, the through line, like how how do you express how what you do actually helps people? Business coaching is a really tough one to explain how I help people. And I feel like, again, going back to my idea virus, you know, and I'm all about like, the Reader's Digest version on things, if y'all remember that reference. um, that I do like my idea virus. It's crickets to clients. I can remember it. That is the point of the business coaching I provide. I try to help people to, um, you know, also to stop overbuilding. Maybe I should throw that in there somewhere. Um, so reducing the overbuilding and helping us to get to a point where we actually have paying clients. That's the point. Um, okay, and maybe there's no obvious next step to paid implementation with conversion. So maybe no, this is maybe a little place that might need a little building is okay, what are your offers? But did you test them with people, or did you just throw them out there? The literal name of the offer lab came from people attending some of my workshops about offers, where actually, a lot of the other workshops, there weren't as many attendees. But when I put offers out there, people were really interested. So I was listening and noticing. And then, and it's still not fully built, uh, but that's what helped inform the name too. So, I'm trying to again practice what I'm teaching that we need to listen and then build. But we might need to build a little bit and test it with actual people. Okay. And Scott says crickets to clients is brilliant, by the way. Oh, thank you. Making me blush. Okay. Tiny conversion move. end conversations with one clear option. Um, Maybe something like, uh, what could you say? Would you like to well, I will admit my GPT helped me with this. So it said, "Want the quick version, the deeper audit, or to try a tiny experiment?" So maybe, what would your quick little conversation or conversion statement be? Um, or maybe with mine from crickets to clients, want to learn more, reach out or respond to this email. It doesn't have to be, I guess, it doesn't have to be clever or rhyme. It could just be, a very human statement. Let's see. So the last piece where we might get stuck with conversations is our capacity might be low. That's something that has really hindered me before, like around the holidays, which are right now. My capacity was a little lower, just with all the festivities and things going on. I was having more trouble with follow-ups, so I think that can impact us. But then today I felt a little more energized and I had all these ideas and I'm like, okay, well, I feel good today. I'm gonna do a live about conversations. So, but maybe we need to listen to our capacity. Maybe we need more rest. But sometimes it's not just about needing more rest, it's also about what is energizing in your business. I often talk about that I suppressed the creative self when I was building my first business. It was all about, advertisement and doing the work and trying to learn more and more and more about counseling so I could be an effective counselor. But I was so in this learning mode and then eventually got a doctorate and all the things that I suppressed the musician within, the creative person who loves drawing and now loves Canva and memes. I just stopped listening to her, and that was a piece of me I had to start listening to again, and bring that creative part back into my business, in this second business now, which I do. I mean, you probably see some of the little Canva things I create. I also blog, and I am working on a few fiction pieces too. So now, yes, some of those are side trails, but they're also things that invigorate me and make life worth living. So, um, you know, I think finding balance there is a lot of why Business for Nerds exists. Is, finding the nerd within and bringing them back out. And allowing maybe some of that to be seen in our businesses because, what is the point of a big project, a business with if there's no enjoyment in it? So, um, I think that goes along with that last one about capacity, burnout, compassion fatigue that, bringing back in who we are into our businesses is a big part of that. So, um, and now I'm running out of things to say. If there aren't any more questions, I might end on that note. And I think I might release this replay. I don't think it was too bad. So I don't see any more questions. So thank you all for listening. And if you want to hang out in the chat and kind of, let me know what's your stuck point with conversations. This was great. Free ship it. Oh, thank you, Scott. All right. Well, you all have a fabulous Sunday and just take good care and thank you. Bye.